Hello guys, it's Chris. From star jelly to goo with an unknown origin, to the Big Bang, the event believed to have created the universe, here are 12 of the most mysterious events in nature. Number 12. Naga Fireballs. Naga fireballs are mysterious lights that arise from the water along a 250-kilometer stretch of Mekong River in Thailand from late October to early November. Each nightly light show consists of up to 1,000 fireballs. Some people believe that the fiery orbs are spat into the sky by mythical serpents known as Phaya Naga that dwell in the murky waters of the Mekong River. On the other hand, some are of the more scholarly opinion that the balls are made of methane or swamp gas and are formed from decomposing organic matter. According to this theory, when the gas breaks the surface of the water, it ignites in the oxygen-rich air. Then the orbs rise about 600 feet or 300 meters before fizzling out. This phenomenon also occurs in several small rivers, ponds, and lakes in the immediate area. Number 11. Christmas Island Red Crab Migration. Christmas Island is located in the northwestern coast of Australia and is host to the most remarkable migration of red crabs in the world. Throughout most of the year, the crabs lead solitary lives in burrows situated in the island's forests. Then, at the beginning of the wet season, which is usually between October and November, they set out for the coast. Males arrive first and dig burrows along the beaches. Each male defends his burrow from other opportunistic males while waiting for the female crabs to arrive. Mating takes place a week later. Then the male crabs journey inland, leaving the female to incubate the eggs for 2 weeks. After the incubation period, all females drop their eggs into the sea. The larvae stay in the ocean for 3 to 4 weeks and return ashore as adolescent crabs. Governmental measures are taken to ensure the safety of the migrating crabs. Underground tunnels and bridges ensure that the crabs are not trampled on by vehicles. Additionally, the busy roads are closed and traffic is diverted from the migration area. Despite these efforts to look out for the crabs, their annual mass migration is under an ever-increasing threat by African yellow crazy ants, a non-native species that was accidentally introduced to the island. So far, these invasive ants have killed between 10 and 15 million crabs. Number 10. The Tunguska Explosion. On June 30th, 1908, something very powerful exploded over the vast Siberian taiga near the Tunguska River. It's believed to be the mightiest explosion ever documented, with energy 185 times that of Hiroshima's atomic bomb. It flattened about 80 million trees over an area of 800 square miles. That's 2,000 square kilometers. In the nearest town 35 miles away, the blast smashed windows and blew some residents off their feet. What's bewildering is no one knows what it was. Some researchers believe that it was an asteroid or comet. However, no rocks or debris were found at the explosion site. Furthermore, there was no crater left behind, which puzzled researchers even more. Some people have even suggested that a spaceship crashed at the site while searching for fresh water at Lake Baikal. And then there are those who think it was a nuclear explosion. But the atomic bomb had not yet been invented. Another theory purports that the explosion resulted from the collision of antimatter and matter. Well, that's fascinating. And now for number 9, but first, be sure to subscribe if you're new here. We have lots and lots of new videos coming up. Number 9. Sailing stones. You can call them sliding rocks, moving rocks, rolling stones, or walking rocks, but no matter what you call them, they all do the same thing. These stones move across the desert, leaving behind long trails on the smooth sand. They move unassisted, without animal or human meddling. Although sailing stones have been studied since the early 1900s, this mysterious event stood unsolved for several decades. But the development of GPS technology and time-lapse video cameras has enabled researchers to put a lid on the mysterious phenomenon. Video footage published in 2014 showed that the movements were initiated by strong wind gusts, sustained by high wind speeds. The rocks slid over thin ice panels formed during cold winter nights. Some of the rocks moved as many as 5 meters per minute. The mystery took so long to solve because the movements of the stones were difficult to capture. Most stones only moved once in 3 years. with some movements lasting for about 10 seconds, while other movements continued for up to 16 minutes. The Death Valley National Park in California is the most famous place to spot walking stones. If you've got any video of that, leave a link in the comments. Number 8. The Big Bang. How did we get here? Where did it all begin? Most humans ask themselves these types of questions at some point in their lives. Others, like George Lumet, ponder the topic extensively and search tirelessly for explanations. In 1927, Lumet contrived a theory that at the beginning of time as we know it, all matter was inside a microscopic bubble, smaller than an atom. It exploded, and in a fraction of a second became bigger than a galaxy. A second later, protons and neutrons formed. After 3 minutes, the temperature had cooled to 1 billion degrees Celsius, which allowed subatomic particles to combine and form helium and hydrogen. The universe expanded rapidly, and it's still expanding 13.8 billion years later. The Big Bang leaves a lot unexplained and draws a lot of criticism, but it's as close as science has come to explaining how the universe we know has come to be. Number 7. Bioluminescent waves. The bioluminescent wave phenomenon occurs when ocean waves light up blue color as they crash onto the shore, or when the water is disturbed by a paddle or surfboard. It was recently observed in the Big Sur in California's central coast. The waves radiate thanks to a bloom of tiny marine phytoplankton, known as dinoflagellates, which emit blue light when disturbed. During the day, they cause a visible coloration in the water called red tide. It so happens that bioluminescence, the ability of an organism to generate its own electricity, is common among deep-sea animals such as jellyfish, crustaceans, cephalopod mollusks, such as squid, cuttlefish, and octopus, and comb jellies. Some fungi and bacteria are also capable of bioluminescence. Number 6. Entombed animals. Entombed animals are small creatures, mainly lizards and toads, that are found alive within solid rock, wood, or coal. There have been 210 known incidents of entombed animals, as highlighted in the Fortean Times, a British monthly magazine that features research and reviews on this and other strange experiences and phenomena. The sightings have occurred in North America, Africa, Australia, Europe, and New Zealand. In one case, a British World War II soldier found a large toad and lizard inside a cavity within solid rock. The account was featured in Jerome Clark's book Unexplained, in which the soldier states that the cavity was 20 feet from the top of the quarry face and contained no cracks or inlets. Benjamin Franklin also wrote an account of 4 live toads found inside quarried limestone, and even Charles Dickens read about this occurrence in his journal all the year round. In 1876, 63 small toads were discovered in the middle of a tree trunk measuring 5 meters in diameter in South Africa. Now, according to skeptics, this was simply impossible. According to their explanation of the phenomenon, toads and lizards hop into a stone while it's being broken, but the observers saw what they saw, and there must be some sort of explanation for it. Number 5. Ball lightning. During a thunderstorm, you're bound to see multiple streaks of lightning split the sky. But have you ever witnessed ball lightning? A study conducted in 1960 reported that 5% of the Earth's population had witnessed ball lightning, which can be best described as spherical objects that vary in diameter from several centimeters to several meters. These balls of lightning form in the sky or inside closed rooms or airplanes during a thunderstorm. Unlike a standard bolt of lightning, which lasts for a split second, the balls linger for several seconds before exploding and leave behind the offensive smell of sulfur. Ball lightning can be dangerous, as evidenced by an event in the year 1809. The Indian troop ship HMS Warren Hastings was attacked by 3 balls of lightning that killed 3 men on the deck. The balls are often mistaken for UFOs, but a more plausible explanation exists in the form of a scientific hypothesis, which theorizes that the orbs are formed when microwave radiation produced by lightning becomes entombed inside a plasma bubble. Number 4. Raining animals. The rain of animals is a natural phenomenon in which animals such as toads, spiders, frogs, jellyfish, worms, and fish just fall from the sky. It was first recorded in 77 AD by a Roman naval commander named Pliny the Elder in his book Natural History. There have been numerous incidents involving raining animals ever since. For instance, in 1861, live fish were found in puddles in Singapore after 3 days of torrential rain. Francis, a French naturalist, speculated that the fish had not come from the sky, but had developed legs and dragged themselves into the puddles. On March 3, 1876, flakes of red meat, instead of animals, fell from the sky in Bath County, Kentucky. Several hypotheses were developed in attempts to explain these bizarre occurrences. The leading theory states that the fish and frogs are picked up by tornadoes and carried for several miles before being dropped back on the ground. However, this hypothesis doesn't explain why the animals involved belong to only one species. Yeah, that is weird. Number 3, skyfish or flying rods. Do you take photos in the outdoors? If so, have you ever caught a skyfish on camera? Have you ever noticed abnormal visual disturbances that resemble rods? I mean, probably not, but some people have. Skyfish are believed to be unseen flying creatures which are only visible on film. The rods appear in countless photographs and even in movies. They have 2 distinguishable features: a uniform cylinder with no clear head or tail, and a pair of fins along its length. Measurements show that they are between 4 inches and 3 feet long. In some films, several rods can be seen playing together. Skeptics have dismissed them as debris, insects, or errors during film processing. But what do you think? Number 2, star jelly. Star jelly is a translucent, sometimes semi-opaque slime, typically found by people wandering in the woods or in their own front lawn. It evaporates shortly after it's discovered, and we're still trying to explain what it is. According to folktales, the substance is deposited on Earth following a meteor shower, but there's no scientific evidence to back this. Researchers believe it's puke from frogs. However, this hypothesis may not be valid because the goo has been found on top of buildings and trees. Moreover, tests have shown that it does not contain any animal or plant DNA. So what is it then? Well, nobody knows. Number 1, HESSDALEN lights. In Oslo, Norway, balls of light that are sometimes as large as cars are spotted floating above the valley at certain months during the year, often moving with astonishing speed. They also dart leisurely back and forth and hang in midair. This phenomenon has mystified researchers for a long time. Despite extensive research, there's no clear explanation for these mysterious balls of light. Jader Monari from the Institute of Radio Astronomy in Medicina, Italy, found out that the HESSDALEN site has rocks rich in zinc on one side of the river and iron-rich rocks on the other side. Due to this topography, electricity flows naturally, and it creates an electromagnetic field. Another hypothesis suggests that the lights are caused by the collision of cosmic ray particles. You can go by these hypotheses or just blame the aliens for fooling us. Thanks for watching. Which event was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe and I'll see you in the next video. So probably tomorrow.